Yeah, we're gonna start and we're starting right now. Hi, everybody. Good morning again. If you're just joining us, I apologize. We had some audio issues, so we're doing like some Jimmy flicks this morning, as we say in St. Lucia. We're doing something. My
Yes.
guest is Elizabeth Francis, and Elizabeth, as she just corrected me, is a sustainable fashion designer from
Yes.
my second home
Trinidad.
of Trinidad and Tobago, maybe my third home, right? Of Trinidad and Tobago. So, welcome, Elizabeth. It's so nice to see you in person, from afar. Anyway, how you doing?
Same
Yeah.
here. So nice to connect with you, Lisa. You are beautiful
Oh,
and
thank you.
amazing.
Oh, my goodness. You
Although you
too. Oh, wow.
get yes.
Coming from a fashion designer, yeah, I'll take that.
Yes, you
So,
are.
oh, my
And I saw
goodness.
your post yesterday. You look so stunning in your little black dress posing. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well,
what?
I was so surprised the dress still fit because I feel like I've put on a bit of weight the last couple of weeks, and so on. I'm like, okay, it still fits. I'll take that.
Girl, don't we all? Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially during the COVID.
I know.
Weight
I
gain and oh my goodness.
Yes. It
Sometimes you go to try your clothes on with fear and trembling because you're like, are you going to fit me?
Fair and troubling is true. But welcome to the program. Okay, guys, it looks a bit different on the screen because I am in Restream, but we're going through Zoom. So just bear with us. We're trying to make this work. That's the whole point. Hi, Katie. Good morning. I forgot to shout out our people in the first interview. So, Elizabeth,
Hi,
like,
diamonds.
yes, hi, diamonds. Our diamonds in here. So, one of
I love that, and actually, are you seeing behind me?
yeah.
Part of my collection. That's
Mm-hmm.
because I do like separate collections at times.
Okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
would do specifically for the
Mm-hmm.
males. So really, we had a huge fashion show because, as you know, we celebrate emancipation.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago was one of the first countries that initiated it becoming a
Celebration.
public holiday and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And so the Emancipation Committee, every year they keep this huge fashion event. It's directed by the great Richard Young.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
And
Richard.
yes, if
I
you're on a show with Richard, you are in an amazing
Oh,
place.
absolutely. I
So
love
it
working with
was
Richard. Mm-hmm.
it was really exciting, and I presented part of my male collection. So it's supposed to be 14 pieces, but I had 12.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do a little adjustment to it because of time. I included three pieces for females as well, right? But it was well put together, and the my inspiration came out of Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and because Africa, is like the home of
It
diamonds because
is
that's where yes,
the home of, oh my
and
goodness. Yep.
Africa is so rich in natural resources,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to kind of like pair that in terms of diamonds, pair that as a team,
Mm-hmm.
um, basically because comparing it to what we would have gone through the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and life itself. How the diamond is, found in the dirt. It's rough, it's
Yes.
uncut, and it takes a lot of work and pressure to get it to where it's supposed to be.
Precious.
But
Yeah.
eventually, when it comes out, you have this precious stone,
Yeah.
and they come in all different colors, and it's just like life itself. We would go through hardships, we would go through things that would cause us to question
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
there's always a purpose in the pain. And just as the speaker before was talking about finding your purpose,
Yeah.
we all get to that crossroad where
Okay.
we would begin to really think, what is life? Why
Yeah.
am I here?
That kind of
And
thing.
to really find ourselves. Sometimes it takes God, removing everything from us,
Yeah.
literally pulling the carpet from under our feet to cause us to change directions
Oh
because
my
He has a
goodness.
plan and a purpose for all of us,
So, Elizabeth,
And
okay,
so,
you sound like, oh my goodness, like this. We've
like a
started. We are
preacher,
full. Yeah, yeah. Let's begin from the beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with ABC. When you begin with
yes,
Elizabeth, we begin from the beginning. Okay, because this whole
yes,
concept
sorry,
of the diamond is definitely one that we're pushing in the To All the Girls Success Club. Then you described it
Yes.
so well in terms of that entire process of, going through
Yes.
hard times and being formed under pressure and meaning
Yes.
something meaningful, that kind of thing. So tell us
Yes,
about, yeah,
indeed.
yeah, tell us first of all about, so we know you're a fashion designer, but it sounds like
Yes.
there's a deeper why to that. So tell us about how
Okay.
you got into it and what your work means to you.
So
Mm-hmm.
I am also a believer, which is one of the first things
Amen.
I identify myself as,
Mm-hmm.
right? And secondly, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of four beautiful adults, and there's a twin somewhere in the middle there,
Okay.
right? Yes. And fashion for me is something that I've always had a real passion for. But in Trinidad, we would practice basically the tail end of the whole industry, which is like, or in the Caribbean, because we focus mainly on production,
Production. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But fashion design is a broad spectrum of, careers and opportunities and,
Mm.
options to do a lot of things in between there. So I really wanted to explore fashion design itself. I always wanted to, understand the mechanics of it, the science behind
Oh,
it,
nice.
what
Mm.
drives it, how do you put a collection together? How do you come up with an inspiration? And those things they don't teach you when you, let's say, you learn pattern drafting or learn to sew or garment
Yeah.
construction, because that's just the production aspect. But life happened to me. I got married, and then it didn't work out well, and I got divorced, and
Mm-hmm.
I was really just trying to find myself. And I really, I came out of school with a full diploma, getting ready to go into the field of architecture, because that's something I really had a passion for as well.
And
I
still
loved,
in design though. It's still in
yes,
design. Oh my goodness. Wow.
designing
Yeah.
buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And it all ties in still with fashion design, because architecture can be an inspiration for a line, for a collection. So I gravitated to fashion so much. From the time I left school, I started a business, because I started, designing my own stuff. I would be sketching all the time.
Wow.
But when I got to fashion school, I realized I really could not fashion sketch. That was just too
Oh.
big,
Oh, that,
because
and there's a big
you had
difference.
yes, you had
Yeah.
to relearn everything that you knew.
Mhm.
It was with a particular standard. There were concepts. There was so much to learn. And God kind of got me to that place in a very strange way. I was so, I was doing well as, an atelier, just producing designs, one of a kind designs, persons and stuff for weddings, doing group stuff. And, I had a really great clientele, and business was going well. And
Mm-hmm.
I bought a house, and then things happened. Everything just made like a 90-degree turn
Oh
when
my
I
goodness.
lost that house, because the agent was defrauding us,
Oh my gosh. Are
and
you
it ended
kidding
up in
me?
court and a whole lot of drama. But basically, it got me to a point where I lost everything, and I had to start back from scratch.
Hmm.
And that was at the point when I really began to reach out to God, and, to say to him, I need you, because I cannot fix this. I cannot do this on my own. And that's the point that I recognized that, I was so happy. Things were going so well that I thought I was having a relationship with God, but I really wasn't. I was just going through a motion,
Yeah.
right? So you go to church every Sunday, you do the little thing, you give your tithes,
Yeah.
but you really wasn't having a deep relationship. And so eventually, God led me back to going back to school. At that time, and it's like everything just was orchestrated. At that time, the degree program had just been initiated in Trinidad.
This is UTT,
And
right?
yes, at UTT.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Nathan had worked hard in the background years before to get that program organized, and then
Oh
Miss
wow.
Carr came in and they put that program together with lecturers from like Pratt
Mm.
University in New York and stuff to be able to give us the exact program that is done in the United
Oh
States.
wow. So
And
is he's a this is the Cocoa Velvet guy, right? Christopher Nathan,
yes,
Cocoa Velvet. I remember.
yes,
Yeah. Oh wow. Is
yes,
okay. Is oh yeah, go ahead.
yes. So I went through the program and it was amazing. My mind was opened up, and broadened to so many things, so many different aspects. I kind of veered toward um, sustainable fashion
Yeah.
because I have a passion for the environment, and so I really wanted to make a difference as a fashion designer, as a fashion brand. When I get out there, to be able to encourage people to utilize, turn away from using stuff that is created with chemicals and let us, go back to that place where we would use stuff, how it was originally,
Yeah. Okay.
created from natural fibers,
Okay. Wow. So
and there's a movement in the industry right now where that is happening a lot and it's being pushed because we are seeing the damage to the environment and how it's affecting us. And
so.
so there is a circular economy that is happening in the fashion industry
Mhm.
where these fashion brands and big time designers and stuff are going back to using um, fabrics that are created from natural fibers. And
So
as you
that would be
mentioned
like
before, as I was telling
cotton.
you,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Tell us about
they're doing a
the
lot of research now because of technology. We have the equipment and we have the know-how to be able to research different fibers and um, fruits and plants that we use
yeah.
and be able to create fibers from them. So they're creating fibers from aloe vera and from pineapple and from, the lilies, the water lilies. And they're doing a lot of work out there.
Mm.
And there's a lot that's available on the market.
So,
Yes, the
okay,
price
Elizabeth. So,
is
but what do you use? Like, which ones, which fabrics or which materials do you primarily work with? And yeah, that's the first question. And my second one would be about how sustainable is sustainable for us in the Caribbean. But let's start with your
yes.
materials of choice and why.
So right now I use what is available to me, which is basically cotton. Right? So we use cottons and linens, right? I'm trying,
Nice.
working on a project where I'm trying to get into banana fiber,
Ooh.
right? And not just purchase banana fiber, which is already being produced, but to be able to create the fibers right here in Trinidad and Tobago
And I
because
think
it's
in
not
maybe in other parts of the
very
Caribbean
difficult.
too. Maybe in other parts of the Caribbean, because I mean, like bananas, a staple in the Caribbean. I'm thinking that there
Yes,
might
it
be lots
is.
of
Yes, it is.
opportunities there.
Yes, because so
Wow.
what I want to do is be able to, to do a pilot project here, to go through to fine tune everything, and then we would move out into the Caribbean because in my research I realized that okay, like St. Vincent produces a lot of bananas,
And St. Lucia as well.
Dominica
Mm-hmm.
does, Grenada, they do much more than we do,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and
Mm-hmm.
so this is something that would be Caribbean wise.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But it's workable, it's doable, and it's just getting the right investor behind us to be
Yeah.
able to bring this to reality. But in the meantime, I am going to be, my next collection is going to be using fabric made from banana fibers. So that's a little secret. And
Not so secret anymore, but that's
yes,
amazing. So are you working on sourcing that raw material? Are you working from
yes,
oh, okay,
yes, I've
great.
already found a source for it out in now.
Oh.
I have spoken to the individual, yes. And then there's another source I've found in India. So during the pandemic, I utilized the downtime that we had to be able to use the virtual platform to make connections with persons and companies that have the products that I'm interested in.
Hmm.
And I was able to network with a lot of them. I got involved with ITC. which is the International Trade Commission,
Mm-hmm.
and they do like not just teach you about trade because they do a lot of programs. They have online learning programs. They also do a lot in terms of encouraging you as entrepreneurs and SMEs to
Okay,
be
so
able to, do your get out there globally to market yourself globally.
okay. So it sounds like,
Yes,
as well as the artistic side of your business and your love, you're very much involved in the business side of things, in
yes,
making things
definitely.
happen behind the scenes so that, wow,
Yes.
that is awesome. I wanted
That's
to,
important because as a brand, you also
yeah,
have to, be able to understand the business side of it because you can be a brand and if you don't understand how business works in terms of putting yourself out there, in terms of marketing, in terms of, you understand, you would only be doing half of the work, right?
exactly.
So you have to understand.
Do you ever find like a kind of disconnect between, oh my gosh, I want to be creative today, and then you have to do the business side of things? Do you have days when you kind of separate it out, or it's just like I
Yes.
run everything, or you do
Yeah.
separate it?
So for now, I do everything myself, but I also schedule myself properly.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit meticulous when it comes to planning. So
Okay.
that I take a day to do the business side of it. I take another day, which I would do producing the garments. I also have because I have other people that I would you know share the work with
Mm-hmm.
in terms of collaborations, and I would subcontract if I have a heavy contract. I would subcontract the work to tailors and seamstresses,
Mm.
right? Um, generally, like now, where we're now coming out of the pandemic period, because I mean, I do a lot of stuff for Carnival as well,
Okay, I
and we have
get you.
had Carnival for the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
this year, I'm just excited because a lot is going to happen, this year.
I feel
It's
like there's,
actually
yeah, there's a, I think there's a kind of revenge going on. Like there was
yes,
revenge travel, and
yes.
now there's revenge fun. There's, it's like we outside now, okay?
Girl, I
Let's
think there's a revenge carnival happening in Trinidad because as soon as they said,
at
okay,
Saint
you're going to
Lucia
do
too.
this, it was fete after fete after fete, just as Isuka said.
Exactly. It's, I think, like, we will look back at this time of the pandemic and immediately after, to kind of chronicle it. But it's amazing to just see how people are reacting to, hey, I can do this now, let's
Yes.
go. That's
Listen, it is
wonderful.
almost as if we were in prison all the time
Oh
and
yeah.
they open the gates now and it's like, we're
Yeah.
free, yes, we're free.
Yeah, I
And
like what
it's
you
just
said.
worthwhile.
I like what you said about during the pandemic when you couldn't be doing much in the business, that you took that time to really look into other aspects, do online
Yes.
research and so on. So how tough was, like, how did the business survive during the pandemic, even though you were doing and focusing on other things? Obviously a business is a going concern, and you're into
Yes.
fashion. So how was that? What was the pandemic like for
So you
you?
could just imagine for us, fashion
Yeah.
designers and
Oh my
persons in
goodness.
fashion stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it really hit us hard, all of the artisans and stuff. Because if people had no entertainment, if there were no events, there was nowhere to go. You wasn't even going to church because we were
Yeah.
locked down from church as well.
And Trinidad
So
had
there
some
was
very
nowhere to go.
serious, yeah, Trinidad had some very serious,
Yes.
stringent,
You know?
yeah, conditions.
So
Yeah.
why are you going to be buying clothing when you,
Yeah.
you didn't need it? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it created that glut in the market, So the government tried, different things. They give out grants, and but with so many to give so little because
Right.
they would pull so many different ways in terms of really managing the pandemic. And there was a program where they did face masks, which really helped a lot of us. So they gave out contracts, small contracts
Yeah.
to the designers and the seamstresses and the tailors to be able to create mass and a mass production level
Yeah.
to be able to deliver, to be donated to the public. So that helps. And I can just say thank God for that because it
Yeah.
really helped. You had to like manage it properly and stretch it to take you through the following months. Some people diversified into other things, but even that was difficult because because of the shutdown, it was difficult to move around and to be able to do new things, But that's why
I
I
get
kind of
you.
moved online. I did like, the stuff that I already had. I joined, there's a platform, a virtual platform, a sales platform that, would market our products throughout the Caribbean. That's e-Caribbean online. And so you were able to post your work up, just like how they have Amazon.
Yeah.
And, you have people come in and they would purchase online. They would make inquiries and stuff. But a lot of it was basically inquiries at the time.
Oh,
You know,
wow. Okay.
people would see your stuff, they would like it and stuff. But if they had nowhere to go, they're not going to buy it.
So it's almost like
And shipping
creating
was
top of mind.
costly.
Yeah, I can well
Yes, and
imagine.
shipping was costly at the point in time.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was all about, heading in a different direction, but preparing yourself for when this period came around.
Okay.
Because we were always optimistic that, there would be an end to all of the
I know, right? I can
yeah.
imagine like this time last year, okay, everybody was already getting vaccinated, but it's more like you're looking towards the end of this thing. When would COVID end? When would we
Exactly.
be able to go out? So,
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
because
I want to take it, if you don't mind, in a different direction because something you said just caught my attention about, okay, so that, God has been a staple for you and, just led you into that path. And when I speak with creatives, being a creative myself with words, that kind of thing, I am always interested in, is there a marriage between your faith and what you produce? Like, are you inspired? Does your faith inspire you in any way to produce and to be a sustainable fashion designer?
I think it does because when you look at, I am going back to, using things that are naturally produced, Where did fashion come from? Fashion started in the beginning. Adam and Eve sewed leaves, banana
Oh my
leaves, and
gosh.
banana leaves
Oh,
together to tie themselves. So,
awesome.
fashion, if when you read your Bible and you study the history, fashion started in the beginning, and there is that thread that runs through every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And, even when they talk about the garments that they use in the early times, you'd hear them talk about flax, right? Which is the grains that they used, and from
Oh.
that they made fabrics. You understand? So even the linens came from flaxseed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff that they use that came out of nature. They got it. Derived it from the plants and the animals because even leather and stuff came from the animals, right? So everything for me is intertwined, and and my passion for the environment
Mm-hmm.
is, the environment is God's handiwork, right?
Cheers.
Yes. So and when you ask, you had asked me earlier about my passion for being an advocate for women,
Mm-hmm.
domestic violence against women.
Yeah.
Well, I have, you know,
Yeah.
opened it in for the men because there's a lot that's happening with men as well. And I think if we do the work with the men, we will be able to, bring it back to that place where the woman would be protected again, you know,
I agree with you on
right?
that. I definitely
Because we
agree.
can't say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're fighting tooth and nail for the women to protect them. But we are protecting them from the men, and then the men are not being taken care of, so they are not being rehabilitated. So, okay, a lot of times we have a big surge in domestic violence in Trinidad and Tobago, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you all see the
Same
news,
thing. Yep. All
and
over.
sometimes
Yep.
it happens rapidly, one after the other.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, you have to get that understanding of what happens to this man who was so decent. And a lot of times you hear them say, "My husband was, we have this marriage for 14 years, and we loved each other, and he's this kind," and everybody would say he's this kind person. He's such a wonderful man. He's so friendly, and then
Mm-hmm.
you try to understand what happened in that moment.
Yep.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand
Mm-hmm.
when everything just hell just broke loose,
I
and
feel
he
like
just
COVID brought out a lot of the underlying problems in our relationships.
yes,
it just made worse what was already there, and
Yes.
people did not know how to handle it. So
Yes.
are
To
you also
ignite it
working?
because
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
remember we were home.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in a
Yeah.
close place. We're living with each other now.
Mm-hmm.
Because before we could run away,
Yeah.
we could go to the bar, and we couldn't. So now
Now.
you had to stop and face it. And a lot of times, people don't face things that are affecting them. They prefer to just shut it away. And in the case of the men, a lot of men would go through situations. They would end up going into depression because they're not taking time to, or they're not allowed to, because we expect men to be men.
Man,
We
don't
expect them to be
cry.
strong.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a big man. What you crying
What
for?
you crying
We're
for?
supposed to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And we look to them for strength also. Although women, are strong, we still look to them for strength.
Mm-hmm.
We expect them to be the soldiers standing up there, and we expect a lot from them.
And we don't
But
equip them.
they
Yeah.
also, yes, they also want to be able to break down and to say, look, I can't handle this.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
just want to
stop.
tell you that because there are some comments that I won't be able to pull up because they're actually in the Facebook group. So
Yes.
Anselma John Ayala, I think she says proud of you. Just wanted to tell you that. She said good morning, and then she said she's proud of you. I just wanted to
Thank
tell
you.
you that.
Thank
So
you, darling.
yeah, okay. So are you marrying your whole focus on fashion with empowering women and that kind of thing? Is that something that you're doing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So, as I was telling you before, I
Mm-hmm.
am part of this amazing group called Will Pulse. And I'm really glad. Girl, God is just like putting all these little opportunities in my way. And, that's why I said, when He's ready for you and, He has a plan and a vision for your life,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just about you now trying to hurt your head about, what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, because He literally orchestrates everything, and everything just interconnects, and, things begin to open up,
Yeah.
and you actually can trace back and see God's hand as you're going along your journey.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I got in contact with in connection with Will Pulse. The
Mm-hmm.
thing about it, I had joined Will Pulse since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
But I never, because I was busy with studying and all of that, I never paid them any attention. But they would always send me the notifications. But during the COVID and during the pandemic, I went back because, I have this passion for writing.
Oh,
I love to
wow.
write stories. I love
Mm-hmm.
to just share what's on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So on my Facebook page, I take time every now and then to address, to my audience of one. And I would share something that's downloaded in my spirit.
Yeah.
And people would respond and they would say, Elizabeth, that is something, you really touched me because I'm going through something and it just hit the nail on the head. So I say my audience of one, because I'm not looking for a crowd. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to impact one person, you know, that is satisfaction, one person to change one life.
Mm.
So that's how I look at things. I'm not looking at, wanting to do this, for any kind of a glory, but for God's glory, one person. And so I also write poems and all of that. So I went back to World Pulse. I don't know, somehow the email came up and I was like, okay,
And you had time. It was COVID, right?
yes,
So
time to
yeah.
write. So
Mm-hmm.
until my laptop went, it just went crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like the most work it has ever got. And I opened back up the page and I reintroduced myself and I posted my first story.
World
So now the
Pulse.
platform is like this. It's 250,000 women globally, and it caters to people who wants to share their stories,
Mm-hmm.
people who have initiatives to share. They also do a lot of training, and they offer you like awards.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, nice.
even while you sharing your stories,
Mm-hmm.
they encourage you to encourage others. So it's something that I like because it's a place where I can encourage a woman from Ghana or from Nigeria when she shares her story.
Oh,
You know,
wow. What is
and
the website again? Is because we are almost out of
it's
time.
www dot
Mm-hmm.
www dot willpulse dot yeah.
Worldpulse.com.
Even if you type in
Okay,
Will Pulse, you would see
it will come up.
their stuff come,
Okay, let me see if I can type it for
and
our
you join the
audience.
page
Mm-hmm.
and you can begin to be a part of an amazing community.
Oh, wow. That's
So, and I've been
awesome.
there. I've been able to. I have won 2 awards so far in terms for my writing.
Mm-hmm.
I was chosen this year
Mm-hmm.
for International Women's Day
Mm-hmm.
as part of 50 women that they celebrated, 50 top writers.
Mm-hmm.
And we were given a nice little. You put out there with your face and your profile and all of that information on you. It was really nice.
Oh,
They celebrated
nice.
us.
Okay. Oh, I
Yes.
ended up putting a ticker tape at the bottom of our screen with worldpearls.com. Don't ask me how I did that.
Yes.
I never tried that before. So thank you, Elizabeth.
Yes. You
Okay,
see
thank
things
you
are
so
happening.
much. Oh my goodness. I wish we had more time, but we're out of time.
Don't
But
worry.
you
We
know
will
what?
talk again.
Yeah,
There's
we'll
so
talk again.
much.
There's a lot to talk about. So thank you for just
Yes.
opening our eyes to what a sustainable fashion designer who's creative in
Yes.
so many other ways can do.
Yes.
Thank you for opening up that world. And to all our Trinidadian friends, hey, come into the club. And I thank you
Yes.
for
Yes. I've
inviting
sent
all of
out
your friends.
invitations.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you for inviting so many of your friends into the club because this is where
Yes.
this interview session is just for us to get to know each other, who's in here,
Yes.
and to kind of bounce off ideas and learn from each other. So it has been delightful this morning. And people can
Remember my
check you out.
brand,
Yeah,
Christique Clothing.
Christy Clothing and
Christique Clothing.
Christy
Yes.
and
I'm on
Keys
all social media platforms. So just
platforms.
look for Christique. Remember Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And clothing. Just a combination of the both words.
Okay.
So if you forget, Christique Clothing.
Okay, but and it is Christiquue,
Yes,
right?
IQ. So Christique Boutique
Uh-huh.
joined together. Yes, Christ Boutique and Clothing.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, lovely.
Christique Clothing.
Sounds
Yes.
good. So you can go follow Elizabeth on
On
Facebook, on
Instagram,
Instagram.
Facebook.
Go. I love your photos. I love that yellow. It
Yes.
was like it's kind of like
Yes,
almost
yellow is
like
my
this,
team
eh?
color.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
almost
you're
like a
wearing the
cross
team
between.
colors.
Yeah, for sure. So go check
Yes.
her out, you guys, and thank you for joining us on this double interview. What a morning! I think I'm going to head back
Yes.
to sleep. Either that or go run so I get the sleep out of my eyes because this has been an
Oh
amazing
my
morning.
goodness. Yes.
Okay, Elizabeth,
Thank
nice
you so
meeting you.
much.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
And thank you for your support in the
Blessed
club as
day,
well.
diamonds.
Have a
Love you
wonderful
all.
bye, Diamond.